My generation is supposed to be grown up and mature now. I represent the millennials. Perhaps you've seen our Instagram pages. Yeah, we cheer for ourselves. We're the worst.
I used to make fun of the boomers, in retrospect a bit too much. Now all these fucking zoomers are telling me that I'm out of touch. Oh yeah? Well, your fucking phones are poisoning your minds, okay?
And I'm in my 30s. I'm in a fun spot, because I get to watch old people and young people fight. These boomers are clueless. Gen Z's entitled. I watch my grandfather and my nephew go at it. They hate each other, but yet they're so similar. It's fascinating. My grandpa's like, you kids are soft. I was shot at in Vietnam. My nephew's like, I was shot at in homeroom. He's like, whatever, you kids are pussies. You can't even eat a peanut. He's like, screw you, Grandpa, I eat ass.
Asian weddings for baby boomers, Asian baby boomers, it was the original Instagram, okay? It is how they catch up with everybody. It's how they get the likes. It's how they get the dopamine hit, right? It's how they leave comments. Why so skinny? Why so fat? Why aren't you married? Why don't you have a baby? What's wrong with your balls? They say shit to your face that reviewers on the internet wouldn't say.
Let me tell you something. My favorite question when I go to a restaurant is when a waiter asks me, ma'am, do you have any food sensitivities? I can't fucking laugh hard enough. I'm like, no, boo-boo. No, I don't. I have zero sensitivities to anything fucking ever. Because I'm Generation X. Yeah, I'm Gen X, man. I grew up playing on scorching hot metal monkey bars in the middle of summer. And when I fell, it wasn't onto foam or mulch. I fell onto a dead hobo. Yes, I grew up swimming in the LA River. It's not a river, it's a sewer. And back in the day, everyone got bullied. Everyone got bullied. And then when you went home and told your parents about it, they would bully you for not standing up for yourself.
These last 6 years, holy shit. I was in such a panic in 2016, then all the subsequent years, what the hell's going on? Oh my God, is America coming to an end? No, you know what? It isn't. It's bad right now, but everything that's happening is supposed to be happening right now. Do you know what 2016 was? It was the boomers' last temper tantrum. That's what that was. The boomers' last temper tantrum. Every time a generation gets old, they panic because death is scary and gross, and they put someone shitty in the White House before they go. This has happened before. The greatest generation, oh my God, fought the Nazis, saved the world from tyranny, came back, built the suburbs, raised the baby boomers. Then they started getting old. Hair turned gray, dick didn't work anymore. Hemorrhoids and hysterectomies. And they panicked. Now it's the late 70s, punk music, they don't know what's going on. Fuck this, put the old cowboy movie actor in the White House. Yeah, fuck you. I was here, goddammit. Then the baby boomers grew up. Think of the baby boomers. They were on the cutting edge of sex, rock and roll, rebellion. They owned youth, and then they got fucking old. And their hair got gray, and their dick stopped working, hemorrhoids and hysterectomies, fucking Gen X and Gen Z making fun of them on Twitter and TikTok. It's all this hip hop music they don't understand. Now they're real, oh my God, I'm about to die. What the fuck is going on? You know what? Put the racist game show host in the White House. Yeah, fuck you! I was here!
Because if you are my age or just right around my age, very maybe 78 to 80, you might realize, or maybe you don't know, I've never been called a millennial or Generation X. I've never even really heard any of those terms growing up. And now you hear them all the time. So I looked it up to try to see, I was like, what am I? And I'm technically nothing. I'm on a cusp. I'm a generation gap. And what we are called, Zennials, or we're called the Oregon Trail generation. Or we are called, my favorite name is the lucky ones. And it's true, we're very lucky. We actually grew up in two different worlds. When I was a kid, I grew up like it was the 50s. Like you would go outside and your parents just didn't know where you were. We went to school and played Oregon Trail on a computer at school. No one had a computer at home. It's like, what are you, a zillionaire? Like, I mean, you could. But then in high school, I had AOL. You know, we had a computer at home. Then I got a beeper. And then I got a cell phone. I didn't have social media until I was 26 with MySpace. You know, I mean, social media, like, whatever I did in high school is a rumor. It can't ruin my life. So if you're around my age, you might realize, like, you just end up always kind of being in the middle. Like, I understand when a Gen Xer says something, you're like, I get it. And millennial says something, you're like, no, I get it. You always just feel in the middle. And these groups all hate each other. And the most I've ever felt where I was in the middle was just this one hotel that I stayed at. So a lot of hotels now, they have Chromecast, and you can watch like Netflix in your hotel room. So I get in my room, and I turn it on, and my Chromecast is not working. So I call down to the front desk, and the oldest voice I ever heard answered the phone. This guy was a Civil War survivor. I mean, he was the age where you just go, thank you for your service. And it's like, was in the Army? You're like, probably, man. I mean, there's an age where like they all had to go at that age, so just say it. So I tell him, I go, hey, my Chromecast is not working. And I could have just made up a word. I mean, he's never heard of that. I could have said, my beatbot broke. I mean, he asked if I was staying at that hotel. That's how he goes, are you staying here? I was like, do you think I've called a front desk from a different hotel room? So he goes, look, I don't know what this is, but there's a younger guy here. I'm going to send him up. He'll be able to help you. And I was like, great. So that guy comes up, and he knocks on my door. I open it. He's my dad's age. And I mean, right when I see him, you're like, all right, dude, we don't have to do this. You know, I mean, I know you've heard of it, but if I can't fix it, you're not going to be able to fix it. But he's the generation that still wants to give it a try. So I got to let him in. So he comes in my room, sits on my bed, a little too far back, I thought. I just remember like the back of his calves were touching the bed, and I was like, are your feet dangling? How far back are you gonna go? Are you cold? Do you want some covers, man? He gets the remote and just starts pressing all the buttons, and I said, I don't know if that's gonna do it. And he goes, let's just keep trying it though. I go, all right. I'm gonna turn the shower on, open a window, let's try everything, you know? Let's just see, maybe it turns on, who knows? Maybe it's all connected. So we can't get it. And he goes, all right. He goes, there's a younger guy. He's about to come to work. And at this point, I'm like, I'm the younger guy, man. I was like, it's all right, dude. I don't need it. And he goes, no, it's a millennial. And I was like, all right, now we're getting somewhere, you know? This is what the millennial does. He was born with technology. He's going to know how to fix this. I was excited. I was like, great. He goes, he comes to work in an hour. I go, wonderful. And let me tell you know how quick that millennial fixed it? Well, I'll never know because he just didn't come to work that night. So... didn't call in, nothing. And I found out because the old guy called me because he was supposed to fill in for him. He was furious, dude. Like, he hates that millennial.
Speaking of Gen Z, is there any Gen Z in here? Any? All right, round of applause if you are over the age of 25. Nice, my people. Round of applause if you are under the age of 25. I'm glad you all here. I'll take it on behalf of everybody over the age of 25 to finally say to everyone under 25, fuck Gen Z. We don't like you. I'm a millennial, yo. I thought we were bad. Yet we had opinions. No one gave a fuck. Everyone under 25, y'all got opinions and y'all want everyone to know them and you want everybody to change for you. Yeah, everyone under the age of 25 is like, I know I just got here in 1997. But you're doing it wrong, all right? Listen to me, okay? I read a book and wrote a blog, all right? Listen to me. I've never signed a lease, but listen, okay? I hate it, man. Like, millennials, we were progressive. We did progressive shit, but we didn't lead like that, you know? It was just like, yo, man, why you doing that? That shit's hard. That was it. Yo, why you wearing that? That's just dope. That's all we needed. Ask anybody under the age of 25 why they're doing anything. Like, hey, man, why are you wearing that shirt? Clothing's my outlet. Yo, shut the fuck up, please, please. Please shut up. Please, 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 please. Talk about anybody under the age of 25 with a Twitter account. Fuck you, all right?
I feel like Gen Z is incredible. And I don't believe that they're just on TikTok. I think they're wicked. They're out there. They're doing stuff. They're like, protesting climate change and dismantling rigid gender binaries. Like, what was I doing? I was like slithering around being like, does anyone have any acid?
My generation is supposed to be grown up and mature now. I represent the millennials. Perhaps you've seen our Instagram pages. Yeah, we cheer for ourselves. We're the worst. We did it. I will say this as the Lorax of my generation, mustache. We didn't ask to be spoiled. Our parents loved us and they gave us everything. That's the job of the generation prior, to give the next generation a better world than they had. So I'm gonna apologize to my grandkids for the radioactive ball of foil and Diet Coke that they're gonna inherit from us. But that's what the people before you do. And I believe that this wave of entitlement started with our grandparents. Our grandparents were called the greatest generation, and I believe that they were. They selflessly gave, and they made this country the idea of America that a lot of us miss. White people. The rest of us, it was horrible for most of them. Okay, but in general. The main points of it, okay? Your grandparents had to fight. They had no choice. Grandpa had to fight in World War II. Grandpa was straight up drizzafted, okay? He had no choice. And when he came home from the war, all he wanted to do was have a family, have a job, be like a little racist, and live the American dream. That's it. He fought, he got right to work. It's not like guys say who'd be like, oh, I just want to backpack around Oregon and find myself. No. And they're allowed to say that because whether you like them or not, our military does such a good job of defending us on a day-to-day basis. And I know that TSA blows. But they do such a good job that you're allowed to mentally check out. Like, if you don't like the war going on right now, unlike it on Facebook. You're allowed to do that. There was no concerted effort. You didn't have to fight. My point is, there was no day we all gathered in our town squares and threw our iPhones into the center so the military could use the scrap metal. What's this, a droid? Take it back, freak. We didn't have that. And I think it's difficult to conceive of a world where you have to sacrifice so much and to understand what our grandparents did, because now they're old. And you look at them, and when you think old, what do you think? Cute, right? Your grandparents are cute because they're tiny, shrinking every year. Pick them up, put them down. They don't like it. Sprinkle water. Get it off me. They don't like it. And the whiter you are, the greater a chance there is that you've developed some weird, pejorative, kitten-like nickname for your grandfather. Oh, it's not grandpa anymore. It's like, this is my nim-nam. This is my yippers. This is my Pip-Pop. And Pip-Pop doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I was a prisoner of war for 6 years. Call me Pip-Pop. I've had worse. Oh my God, you guys, my Pip-Pop is so cute. Oh my God, Pip-Pop, he's so cute. You guys, sometimes at Christmas, when Pip-Pop falls asleep, we like to decorate him with Christmas bows. Isn't that funny? Silly Pip-Pop. Pip-Pop's got 53 confirmed kills. Don't think for a second Pip-Pop doesn't remember how to repurpose that Christmas bow around your neck to get the intel that he needs out of you. Sit the fuck down, Colton, Caleb, Ashton, Crashton, Crampton, whatever your fucking hipster name is. Sit down! Pip-Pop came home from the war, and then they had our parents. Our parents are called the baby boomers. They're called the baby boomers because Pip-Pop came home from Normandy, and he was like, oh, I'm not dead. Boom, Gladys, let's fuck. And then The baby boomers, ask your parents, were the first generation. They were allowed to be artists on a mass scale. You didn't have to work on your family business. You could go out, you could take drugs, rock and roll. You could do and be what you wanted to be out in the big city. And then the baby boomers had Generation X, and I don't care about them because I'm a millennial. We showed up, got a trophy for breathing, and then we invented Instagram.
I should say, I do like to do all my historical women as millennials. Like, it's just more fun to do history that way. Like, all the women on the Titanic would have been like, it's so annoying the boat sunk. Like, how do you not see an iceberg? That had to be the main discussion on all of the lifeboats, right? It was just a bunch of women being like, so you just didn't see it? Isn't that like literally his whole job? This is the most random ocean.
Now everything's about kids. Everything's about what the kids are learning. What are they learning, the kid? What are they teaching children? My parents are boomers. They could not have given a fuck less about what I learned ever. My father walked me to the bus stop on my first day of school. I said, what school am I going to? He goes, oh, I don't know, son. And then walked away.
This kid's got it good, though. 15-year-old kid, man. My son has no idea. He has no idea how good he's got it. These fucking millennials. Millennials. Is that what they're called? You see here? Millennial? Gen X? Millennial? Pussies? Is that what they're called? Pussies or pussies? All of them pussies. If there's 15-year-olds in here, you're a fucking pussy, all of you. Fucking right? Am I fucking right? They complain. You can't yell at them. They'll say something. You'll get in trouble. Oh my God, my mom yelled at me, and I'm so scared to go to the house because my mom yelled at me. Man, go fuck yourself. Are you kidding me? You're scared to go home because your mom yelled at? That's all my mom did was yell at me. That was the only language my mom spoke was yell. Huh? What? Say it again. Say it again. Say it. What did you say, Joseph? What did you say? Turn around. Turn around, Joseph. That's the only language my mom taught. Yell. Huh? When? When did you do it? Where? Where did you go? Huh? What? Did you lose your lunchbox? I remember when I lost my lunchbox one time. Holy shit. That's how my mom disciplined. She never like physically touched you. She verbally attacked you. That's when she went after you. She'd break you down in words. Interrogation. 2.5 hours of yelling. What? Where's your lunchbox, Joseph? Where did you put it? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Where? Where did you go? You go from house to school, school to house. Where the fuck did you lose it? What, you just take your lunchbox, put it anywhere? Oh, I don't know where. I don't know where anything is. I don't know where. Where's your lunchbox, Joseph? Where? Where did you put it? I don't know. Then she'll just repeat what I said in a stupid voice.